The Tasman Sea rolls onto the west coast of New Zealand's North Island, the Taranaki coast that Abel Tasman saw in 1642. It booms against the rocky shore where my great-grandfather landed when he arrived in this new land from the English Plymouth in 1842. It sweeps in against the breakwater we, his descendants, have pushed out against it. It lies calm and tamed in the harbour we've made from the town they built. The New Plymouth, half a world away from Devonshire. The sea's the same, but other things have changed. Ships load valuable cargoes where Maori canoes once slid along the forest shores. Along the old Maori trails today, trains and trucks are busy with the wealth and commerce of the fertile province. We've been here 100 years, and we've felled the forests of Taranaki, tilled the land, and built our towns. About 24,000 of us live in this New Plymouth, the town that's grown on the site the settlers cleared. It rises and falls on the coastal slopes and looks like many other New Zealand towns. It's a market centre, really, supplying goods and services to the surrounding farmlands. It's still growing, and we've got a few new buildings and factories that reflect the modern trend in architecture. You'll see the same style in some of the homes up on the hill. It's hard to pick a house you'd call typical. Some are wood, a few brick, many are built of hollow concrete blocks. Most, though, are wood, built facing the street with their flowers and shrubs and lawns. Some of us live on the hills up among the trees, and many in the suburbs of government houses which we can rent or buy. Visitors always say how well and healthy our kiddies look. We don't notice it ourselves, although naturally we think our particular ones are perfect. They have a grand time in the long summers. It's easy to keep children amused where there's water. New Plymouth's the main town in the province, and it's on the coast, and a coast of bays and beaches where children learn to love the water at an early age. The boys and young men build their own yachts often and sail them out in the bay. But the main attraction's the sun, to get out in the sun and under the sky. For 2 days each week we're mostly in the open air. I suppose that explains our preoccupation with sport. And besides all the usual things, we can spend our weekends in the quiet and solitude of the streams. There are 59 named rivers radiating from Mount Egmont, and there are trout in most of them, brown trout and rainbow. For a license fee of £2, anybody can fish these streams for a season of 7 months, from October till April. But people haven't always been able to play and relax in peace in New Plymouth. In St. Mary's churchyard, under the old trees, are headstones, reminders of the troubled 1860s, that brief period when disputes over land brought the Maoris and English settlers into open conflict. And when Marsland Hill, there in the distance, was a stockade in which my great-grandmother and the other womenfolk took refuge each night. But Maori and white men have lived and worked together in peace for a long time now, and all that recalls those anxious nights on Marsland Hill is one of those Victorian statues that crowns the top. Out against the sky, on the farm hilltops, you can still see the Maori trenches and fortifications of an even earlier time, before the white man came. Visitors clamber up the slopes that fierce, tattooed warriors once defended with their lives. Soothing grasses have softened the outlines of forts where palisades once shook with war cries as a desperate and bloody struggle decided which of the Maori tribes would dominate this forest land. The forests have fallen forever, but a new beauty has replaced them, a rich earth, smooth pastures, and the pleasant order of intelligent farming. The province of Taranaki that surrounds the mountain is one of farms. I suppose they average about 180 acres, and their main crop is grass. Box-thorn hedges enclose the paddocks and make shelter for the stock. Our rainfall's evenly distributed throughout the year. There are no extremes of climate. It's sunny, moist, and windy. And it's here the farmers live and work. Most of our farms are dairy farms, and they make the most of scientific advances in pasture management. The majority of the cows are Jerseys, pedigree stock, maintained by the New Zealand system of herd testing. Jerseys are great butterfat producers. Farm economy here is based on butterfat. The farms are run well and economically. Here's Ken Corkill, for instance, who milks 40 cows on his own, night and morning, right through the season, with the help of machines, of course. Butter and cheese factories are scattered all through Taranaki. Seems to be one every few miles about. They're cooperative, the farmers own them. Last year, Taranaki exported 54,000 tons of cheese. That's more than half the cheese shipped from this country. Trucks are irregular traffic on the roads in the early mornings, going between the factories and the farms. Right through the district, the interest is with animals. Even in the schools, you'll find the youngsters with calves they've fed and reared. The grown-ups have their agricultural shows, the children must have theirs too, and members of the school calf club parade their pets before the judges. Everybody takes it seriously too, and the children know the good points of a cow or a calf. As they get older, the schoolboys themselves become judges. It's good training for them too, for in a few years they too will be farming. Lots of the youngsters keep pet lambs. They've looked after them, fed them from a bottle, and now judging day comes at school and they lead the grown lambs round the show ring. Lambs and sheep are also important in the province, and many dairy farmers are going in for mixed farming and are raising fat lambs for export. You'll see the sheep and lambs dotting the paddocks as you travel the 100-mile road that goes round the mountain. And encircling the mountain, you'll come to the country towns, never more than 20 miles apart. Eltham, Inglewood, Stratford, Howrah, Patia, Waitra, thriving, busy little places. You'll see their bright clusters of houses, modern schools, playing areas. But the center of all these towns, of course, is the main street. On market days, the curbs are lined with parked cars, for the farmers have come to town. But like all good farmers, they must be home again before the evening milking. Other roads lead not through the towns and round the mountain, but up it. It dominates the province, this mountain. Captain Cook called it Egmont, but to the Maoris it was a god, and they named him Taranaki, the lonely one, father of the land. The sealed road climbs upward through subtropical bush toward the snow line, a dense green fringe of kahikatea and rimu. Of palms and ferns and red rata. This is the forest of pre-European times, wrapped like a cloak round the feet of the cold mountain god. Cicadas drone on the tree trunks, and the grey warbler sings in the leaves. Today, all this area is a national park, and where the bush meets the snow, mountain houses and hostels have been built within an hour of the towns. And here we come to climb and tramp, to play and learn to ski on the slopes of this old volcano. Mount Egmont, or Taranaki as the Maoris call him, for centuries has exerted a powerful influence over the imagination of the Maori people. And alone and aloof, 8,000 feet above the land, he still controls the welfare and prosperity of us all. He makes the weather, the moist, warm climate of the province that bears his Maori name, Taranaki, the climate that not only grows our grass, but produces our flowers that have made New Plymouth one of the gardens of New Zealand. Nursery gardening's one of the town's, well, industries. These seedling shrubs and trees and flowers are shipped from the trellised cool of the Taranaki nurseries to all parts of the country and to many lands overseas. We like to talk about our plants too, with the stream of garden lovers who visit us. Working out in the sun is a different type of farmer, the gladioli grower, with his flowered acres sheltered by the mountain and striped with colour. Here he's developed unique New Zealand strains and improved others that interest flower growers in many parts of the world. We've felled most of the dense rainforests, but we've replanted, and trees bloom beside the lakes and rivers and in our parks. Pukekura Park's in the centre of New Plymouth, 5 minutes from the main street, 120 acres of quiet and shade. Here we meet old friends, and we hope to make new ones. We get excited about the rare white heron that comes to the lake, the bird the Maoris tell us is seen only once in a lifetime. This isn't just another park to we New Plymouth people, it is New Plymouth somehow. In the ordered coolness, we wish, or I do sometimes, that those rugged pioneers from the old world could walk here under the ferns and hear with us the sound of the birds drifting across the lake and see what's happened to their dream. Everything's changed so. Except that today, as in their day, Taranaki, the lonely one, father of the land, still sweeps up into the new Plymouth sky, holding in his solitude our health, our wealth, and I think our affection.